But anyway, so this X,
Yeah.
when, you know, it had a meaning in the LMA community of meaning, I'm going to use the word carving.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way we have taught it in the past, but now we teach why as part.
And the reason, and now people teach why, and the reason that this was X was very problematic in the Laba notation community, and this was because when they would look, Laba notators would look at this symbol, they would say that means any, what we would now say, any shape mode.
Got it, I know.
Because the plane wavy line means any in the system. And so your student came up with, we went online, we did on the Theory Bulletin Board, and she came up with this solution, which
And I know, I was at that meeting of the Theory meeting in New York City when you're in your old space, and we delighted in being okay with that symbol. So
right.
That's great.
Right.
Charlotte,
I'm sorry. Okay, so going back, I mean, do any of the people who have not been able to get a word in edgewise have any thoughts about what we've been talking about in terms of the meanings of the symbols, or whether or not, as Brenton talked about, whether or not they need to, you know, fit in exactly with the roots or the conflicts with the rest of the system?
Well, I mean, I guess I still have the same question about the circle being connected to the line or not being connected to the line. I don't feel like that was ever answered in terms of what Peggy. Yeah.
Right. We didn't answer it, and I feel, I agree that we should try to make something really absolutely in the lineage of the Laba notation work, if possible. And if we ever come up with a concept that's not covered by Laba notation, I think then it's up to whomever works with it all the time to run it by people who have been traditionally in the Laba lineage and have been following the symbology for years, which are like your one and Linda's one and I'm one, and so I think that also that in fast writing, which we often are doing, the symbols need to be cohesive enough to not take a ton of time to write, and be really careful around having a space between, for instance, the dark ball as a center of gravity and whether it touches the line or not of the curved line for a yield. So I actually think that just in a very fast writing, going, putting it right on the line is much easier. Or you could even do a circle and then continue.
Well, this gets to the issue, and this comes up a lot in theory meetings that I've been to. What should be the criteria for when we develop these systems? So people will say, you come up with a symbol and they say, oh, children won't be able to write that.
Right.
Because that's their application. Or Peggy's now saying, you know what, I want to make sure that whatever I have, I can jot it down. Or somebody might say, oh, that'll be hard to do on LabanWriter, so we can't have it, you know. So you have to decide that, it seems to me, whether or not you're going to be influenced by that in the you know, there's certain, you know, in the development of the system. To me personally, I think it's fine to say, oh, I'm going to write it above when I'm doing fast writing, but when I'm talking about establishing the symbol, to me that's not the criteria I would want to use any more than it can't be done on LabanWriter, you know? That's LabanWriter's problem.
Now here's something that would be my only criteria.
Okay.
I definitely don't feel that. I have been in this system long enough that the criteria is in my mind, all the ones you listed about 10 years ago, on the motif writing bulletin board.
Right,
The criteria for development of a symbol. You had something that you wrote that had about 10 different things in it. And I totally agree that we should go in the order that you suggested in terms of criteria. So that's what I've been using in any of my thinkings about things. So I feel like we're in cohesion. I was just mentioning aspects that I also am thinking about. I mean, obviously, just because children can't learn to write, it doesn't mean we should, or just because Robin Ryder can't.
Right,
Yeah.
right. We're on the same page. Yeah.
What are these criteria?
Oh, I had a, go ahead, Brenton. I have a question after Brenton.
Okay, I was
That's
just wondering where these criteria are, because I would absolutely love to see them.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I go on I have to make a note for myself. I for sure will include it in the minutes for this.
Oh, great.
But I will, but since the minutes are not, I have to look it up. It's on the theory bulletin board in one of the discussions, but I have to find it. And I will,
Can you just send it to us?
I will send you the link
That
The
would be
link
wonderful, Charlotte.
to that part of the discussion.
It's a series of discussion. It's not only one meeting, it's several
Right.
meetings.
And other people in that discussion had other thoughts about the issue. It was a
Yeah.
very interesting discussion. So I made one contribution, but there were, so I'll try to.
If you ever think of it, that's worthy of a page somewhere and a very, so, I mean, this is very foundational, right? These are guidelines that really everyone should have access to, like, it should be their first, go-to place when they're coming up with symbols.
Well,
That's a good point. Very good point. It would be a good idea to have them just outlined very distinctly so that it isn't
Yeah.
part of a full discussion.
And it can be work in progress, that's fine.
Yeah, maybe we should revisit it. I mean, because, I like what I wrote, but I think that there may be other ideas about what the criteria can and should be. It would be very interesting to see. Yeah.
So, it's very interesting to me. I have to say one tiny thing, and that is,
Yeah.
I have a really good friend in the Napa Valley who is a world famous calligrapher. And she goes to these conferences that are calligraphy conferences. And so I was telling her about coming to this kind of conference and et cetera. And she said, well, what do you guys geek out about? And
What are you
I
gonna
told
what?
them,
Did she say?
Geek
Oh,
out.
eke out about, okay.
Geek,
Geek
G-E-E-K.
out.
Oh, geek,
Oh, geek out.
geek out. Love it.
Think of it.
What do you geek out? And I told her some of the things, many of them, and I said, so what do you geek out about? And she said, well, we debate endlessly, and people have had entire wars in the calligraphy realm about certain use of pinpoints and the angle the pinpoint comes down. It's like a historic thing or not a historic thing. It's usable, not usable, on and on and on and on. So they get into really fights about that as a geeking.
So I know Cadence had a question.
Yeah, well, so I guess it's still related to the symbols, touching or not, and so I just rewrote A through F
Charlotte, hold on.
so that they are touching, right? Because you had the two versions of G and H. So A through F, if they were touching the circles with the curved lines, one reason I like them touching, the same reason, Peggy, in terms of fast writing, sure, but I feel like it goes with the concept. This kind of goes back to what Brenton was saying, is that there is a slightly pictorial aspect too. It goes to the concept that in yield and push, reach and pull, we are making contact, per se, right? So I like the idea that the dark circle is making contact with the curved line, and the same thing with the pull. When I'm pulling, I'm making contact. So there's something about that in terms of the concept that I kind of like them touching, but I haven't put them into practice, so I would have to do that.
No, I don't
Well,
see
there,
G.
there's There's a similar.
Because G was
right.
just the same as it was.
Right.
Yeah, but they're similar.
It's not similar, it's exactly the same.
Exactly
I'm
the
gonna
same.
show you, this is
Oh,
from
yes, okay.
Ann Guest's book, Your Move, okay? And
Right.
this is not,
Ah.
these are relatively new they're not relatively new, she's been using for a long, but this was first published
Huh.
in, well, I don't know if they're in her Lava Notation.
They
book.
are. They are.
Oh, all right, so, but what she
Okay, pretty
means
identical,
by
yeah.
those signs, what she means by those signs, the curve with the curve with the circle means something. She calls it giving in to gravity, right? And I think that what my opinion, and you know, based on trying to study her things, or the one with the dark, right? So. She calls the one with,
What page?
all right, this is in Your Move, the most recent edition of Your Move, okay? On page 517. So, all right, and also in her most recent edition of Lava Notation, okay?
Is this the advanced one or the?
No, this is the standard Lava Notation edition 4, you know, that everybody uses when they're
It's a newer version.
the newer version of the one.
But this is the advanced, different.
Right, but this is the, and
This is
on
advanced
page
series.
460, okay, so they're what we would, one of them means, what we would say is, I don't want to say we. I
Oh,
hate
and
that when I
before
say
we do that, I just want to clarify, these are, I put A prime, B prime, C prime, etc. with the touching.
Okay. Great.
So she named something that's similar.
No, I don't
I'm
need
sorry,
that.
it's reversed. Oh, what were the letters?
It's not reversed.
It's not reversed,
Oh, okay,
Charlotte, don't worry
what's the
about it.
letter?
Yeah.
Oh,
X, Y, Z. Z?
yeah, I think we're down to Z.
Z, then A1, right?
I've got A prime.
Okay, well, what should I letter these? You put
Z. Z1,
Z.
Z2.
Yeah, Z1, Z2. They're both
Z1,
related.
Two.
Z2, all right? You know, she may tell me I've misinterpreted, but I think it has, you know, one, she means to mean giving into, you know, what we would call, what in the LMA community and what some people in the motif notation community, whatever, call heavy. And the other she uses to mean, for her, the opposite of giving into gravity is resisting gravity, which is what we
Buoyancy.
tend, the sense of lightness. I think that she, you know, I may be mixing it up, but that's what I think she means. So the problem is, regardless, that she uses those signs in the LODC community. The lava notators must use it. It's in this book. And is it appear in scores?
It appear in some scores.
That it used in some scores. So I would say at the very least, if this starts being used to mean one thing, mean something very different in a good portion of the LIMS, the LMA, LIMS community, and it means something very different by other people, that you're going to have to start glossarizing it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point. That I mean, that's an identical symbol, really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a strong argument. I think. I mean, I actually think they're so close in meaning. It's kind of funny. Like, I really want to combine them, you know, or like have them both mean in both meanings, but they are slightly distinct. But I think that point that you just raised. I mean, it seems like we need the space then, in order not to confuse them.
Maybe
Yeah.
a slight space, even.
No, I think the first one that they proposed with that kind of space works.
With the space works.
Yeah.
This one.
With
Yeah.
the A.
I like them both, but I think the fact that the other ones are already used clearly.
Okay, now I want to do
I mean,
something. If
Yeah,
And it answers
I
the
also
question.
just wanted to,
I think that the similarity in their meaning, like giving it a space, actually makes the symbol more coherent in a larger system.
Okay, now I'm gonna say write something, tell me if what number is this?
It's
I'm gonna do
already
it- I'm gonna do it in a better way.
We're going to
What letter?
the prime.
do
Then.
AA.
What is it?
Do AA.
A?
AA.
AA, all right.